Question 13. There's 6 different equation of lines here. So if you wanted to know what each line looked like, you could sketch it. I said, if you wouldn't mind, to find the slope of each line and just see then, did you notice anything? So if we look at the very first equation here, it's y equals 2x minus 3. So I'm going to take that line, y equals 2x minus 3. And now, maybe you don't like the way that looks. Maybe you'd prefer it to look differently. Well, if that's the case, you know, subtract 2x from both sides or add 3 to both sides. You can keep with your normal rules of equations, because if you listen to the name of this, this is called the equation of a line. If you look in your log tables, they talk about the equation of a line. So this sticks with your rules of equations. So maybe you'd prefer to, I don't know, add 3 to both sides. Maybe you'd prefer it if it looked like that. I don't care. I just was asking you to find the slope of the line. So this is what it looked like originally when I was given it. Y equals 2x minus 3. Feel free to move it around. So I'm just going to move it a little bit and work with this. I need to find 2 points. So if x was 4, so if the x coordinate was a 4, this side would be 8, which means that this has to be a 5. And then you'd have 5 plus 3, 8, 8 equals 8. So 4, 5 is a point on this line here. And let's go, I'd say 3, 3. So 2 times 3 is 6, 3 plus 3, yeah, 3, 3 is a point. Now, there is an infinite number of points on that line. It's unlikely you're going to end up with the same points as me. But if you did, that's fine. I just want you to be able to find, you know, you could actually just work on this and try and find as many points on a line as you can. Maybe give yourself a challenge. Write down the equation of a line and find 10 points on that line. And then these will become an awful lot easier to you. So why did I want points on a line? Well, I asked you to find the slope of the line. Slope has a formula, and in order to do the slope formula, you need 2 points. So x1, y1, x2, y2, and you just fill in your formula. Now, I'm sure there is a million other ways to do this. I'm just doing it the way that came to mind for me. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which gives me a minus 2 over a minus 1, which gives me a slope of 2. So the slope of this line here is a slope of 2. Next one. Let's go for this one here. Maybe you don't like the way it looks. So that's the first one. Maybe you don't like there's a fraction in it. Well, if you don't like there's a fraction, then how do we, like, what's the opposite of dividing by 2? Because it's the 2 that we want to get rid of. And 1 over 2 means 1 divided by 2. So the opposite of division is multiplication. So if you wanted to, you could multiply by 2. But if you multiply one thing by 2, you have to keep balance. You have to multiply everything by 2. This is brilliant for your basic algebra. Maybe you don't want to do what I'm doing. That's fine. You don't have to. So on the left, I multiply everything by 2. So I get 2y. And on the right, you multiply 2 times that, which gives me a 1x. And 2 times that, which gives me a 10. Maybe that looks a bit nicer to you. Maybe it doesn't. And you want to move things around a bit more. Feel free to do that. I'm just going to leave it there. If x was a 2, let's say. So if x is 2, then over here you'd have 1 times 2 plus 10, that's 12. So this would be a 6. 2, 6 is a point on that line. Why do I want a point on that line? I've asked you to find the slope of the line. And in order to use my slope formula from my log tables, I need 2 points. Second point, maybe if x was a 4, so that would be 4 times 1 plus 4, that's 2 times, it'd be 7. There are my 2 points, x1, y1. You'll probably end up with different points to me. And formula for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which gives me 1 over 2, so a slope of a half. So the slope of this one, slope of a half. Keep going. We have y equals x plus 3. Now you can say also 1x if you want, whatever. So y equals 1x plus 3. I'm going to get the slope of that. So we need a point. Let's just say x is 1. That means y would be 4. Yeah. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm not going to mess around with it. You can if you want. And if x was 3, y would be 6. There's my 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which gives me a 2 over 2, which is a 1. Slope of 1. Wonder you're starting to notice anything. Could be a coincidence if you do notice something, so we're going to keep going. Going to do all 6 of them. Next one. Part 4 is y equals minus 2x minus 4. Maybe you don't like how that looks. Add 2x to both sides. So 2x plus y equals minus 4. Maybe you still don't like that. I don't know. 2x, yeah, add 4 to both sides. And you'd end up with 2x plus y plus 4 equals 0. Whatever way, but all you're looking for is points on the line. So let's go for, if this was a minus 1, so that's 2 times minus 1 plus y plus 4 would give me 0. That's minus 2, and y would be minus 2. I think that should work. So that point is on the line. And what else? Another point that's on that line. Let's say if x was 0. So often 0 is one of the handiest ones to do for either x or y. So that's 2 times 0 is 0. Plus 4 minus 4. There are my 2 points. x1, y1, x2, y2. There's an infinite number of points there could be on this line. So it's unlikely you're going to get the same ones as me. But when you fill in your slope formula, we all should get the same slope, because this particular line has a particular slope. So this is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's a minus 4 plus 2 over plus 1, which gives me minus 2 over 1, which is just minus 2. So the slope of this one is minus 2. I really hope you're starting to notice something. Are you? Look at the slope of every one of those and look at the equation. I'm going to get you to keep going yourselves with these two. But what I'm hoping you might notice is, look at this. Y equals minus a half x plus 4. magically, I'm going to tell you that the slope is -1/2 without doing any work. Wonder how I did that. And this one, part 6, off you go, do your work. Can you see it? What do you think? Slope of this one? When you get your answer, you should get the answer 2. Slope is 2. How am I doing that? Well, if you had actually looked at your log tables, you would have maybe noticed that there's a second formula for the equation of a line. So you've been using this one. But what this one tells me is y, when the y is isolated, so when the y is completely on its own, when there's no number beside it, like, I mean, I know there's a 1y there, but it couldn't be 2y or 12y or 5y or -2y. It has to be 1y or just y on its own. Y equals m. Now, what did we say m was? We said m was the slope. So whatever the coefficient of the x is, if you look at it here, is the y on its own? Yes, it is. Y equals m. There it is, slope 2. And I went around and did it the long way. What did I notice here? Is the y isolated? Yes. Y equals mx, slope of 1/2. And I went and did it the long way. I won't be doing that again. You know, I will never do things in maths the long way if I have a shorter way of doing it. Here we go. Y is isolated. Y equals mx plus c. Here we go again. Y equals mx plus c. This only works if the y is completely isolated. Y equals mx, m, slope of -1/2, and then y equals mx, slope is 2. I hope you can see all that and understand where it's coming from. I wonder what the plus c stands for. I wonder, does the c tell me anything? It's on the page there. If you go into detail enough on this page, you will know what that is. In every one of those situations, this is something to do with the line. I'll do it on another video, but I want to see if you can figure it out for yourselves.